Technology evolves. Threats evolve. And yet war is constant. The soldier of tomorrow must rise to meet these new threats. The future depends on it.
Today Ubisoft are announcing a mode in Ghost Recon Future Soldier called Guerilla, which if you want to be lazy, you could call it Ghost Recon Does Horde mode. But what would you say, what's your spin on the Horde mode that you will play in Ghost Recon?
So really since the beginning of the Ghost Recon franchise, there was always been that special co-op mode where you have a big map open and you need to kill all the enemies inside that map that you could play in co-op. But going for Future Soldier, since the full campaign is playable up to 4 players in co-op, it feels kind of redundant to do the same kind of mode. And also I had a designer in my team that's really fan of Horde mode and wanted to make Horde mode for Future Soldier. And we were like, yeah, okay, Horde mode, that's cool, but we need a special, we need the kind of the special Ghost Recon flavor to it, and I think that's what we managed to do with the Guerilla. To take Horde mode and add a specific flavor of Ghost Recon with the recon, with the incel, with the fact that the first every 10 waves you have a stealth wave that you can perform fully in recon if you want, with the fact that you have to hold an HQ and that you don't only have to take care of your life or your teammates' life, but also take care of that HQ that can be seized by the enemy, etc.
And what do you feel it is about, because this has become over the last few years very, very popular. What do you feel that is, and sort of what specific things do you want to achieve in your take on that mode to sort of get those players excited?
So really we had a lot of things that we wanted to achieve on that mode. First, the mode is playable in split screen, and so we wanted it to be really accessible. So that's why at the beginning the wave starts really easy, because we felt it's the kind of stuff that when you own the game and you have friends that come home and that hasn't played the game, you're like, hey, you want to play with me, Ghost Recon? Okay, let's boot it up in split screen and try to do the game, and we don't want your friend to get kicked. So that was one of the first goals, is to really have that progression aspect and so on, and it can get pretty tough after like 15 or 20 waves, definitely. Another thing that we wanted and to achieve with Ghost Recon Future Soldier was one of my issues with Horde mode is that you always end up defending at the same spot again and again and again and again and again for like 40 or 50 waves. And so that's why we wanted that twist with the HQ, because, okay, so you've got that HQ to defend, but that HQ is changing every 10 waves. So you're forced to go in a different position in the map and review all your strategy of defense and so on. That's another aspect. The third aspect is that we have some AI classes that force the player to split. Actually, we have some kind of AI, if you stay too much at the same spot in group and so on, you're going to get wiped. So even if you have to defend that HQ, you've got to have one sniper in the position on the other side of the map or that kind of stuff. And if that guy gets shot, then you need to have someone that run all the way across and revive him, etc. So that was something important also for us. And the last point is that, so in order to defeat a wave, you need to have one ghost alive when the wave is over, and we wanted the other player, even if they are dead, to still be active and just not stand there and looking at a spectator cam. So when you're dead, you respawn as a UAV, and so you can fly around the battlefield and provide intel to your teammates that are still alive, mark target for them, and so on. So even if you're alone, you still have a slight bonus because of your friend providing you intel. So, and actually that can be a really powerful, seeing enemy through walls and so on. It's kind of neat bonus.
So and I played this as well. So my impression of it is that in Horde mode, naturally there are some team play aspect that's come into play. You revive each other and you sort of cover each other. But here it's more formalized. There are more sort of specific roles and areas where you have to team up and help each other. Someone has to spot the enemies and the other have to cover him, and it's a little bit more formalized. So would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely, because also that was a goal for us, because the team tactics and team strategy is at the core of Ghost Recon since even the first one on PC, that Ghost Recon is a shooter, but it's a shooter about a team. And we wanted also to have that feeling into the Guerilla mode.
So what can you tell us about the map design for this mode, and what have you thought about and what you tried to achieve?
So really, in terms of map design, what we wanted two things. First, we wanted to have the HQ to scale in terms of difficulty. So that means basically the number of access in that HQ and how good are the covers close to the HQ. So that's one of the first things on which we play a lot, depending on the level. So we have a HQ on 2 levels that you need to split to defend, etc., etc. So that's one of the big things. The other big thing is, as I said before, there are enemies that require you to split, to flank them, etc., to kill them. And so we worked a lot on creating vantage points on the map that are not HQ, but that you want to seize during the game and defend. And that's where, for example, you start to have tactics that you use more in multiplayer that also adapt to the guerrilla, like being into a sniping position and planting claymore behind you, so you know when someone is coming to flank you and that kind of stuff. Because when you're alone, you're really exposed, so you want to be prepared. And that's the kind of tactics that we want to encourage and are really fun.
So something that I barely scratched the surface of is the unlocks that you gradually unlock, airstrikes and that sort of thing. What can you tell us about that, and how does that system work?
Okay, so we have 2 different kind of unlocks in the Guerilla. We have what we call the wave streaks, which are kind of superpowers that you unlock every 2 waves that you survive. You unlock a new streak, and then when you have unlocked all the streaks and you are still surviving, you unlock them in a new way but more powerful. So I will explain that. So the 5 streaks that you have is a radar that when you activate it, it gives you full intel on the map for 30 seconds. Then we have the complete invisibility, so it's an augmented camouflage that now you can shoot, you can run, you won't break your camouflage. So that's really useful when you want to go and revive someone that is in the middle of the enemy, for instance. Then we have the guided missile, which speaks for itself. After that, we have the sentry turret, so it's one sentry turret that you can place anywhere on the map. And lastly, we have the carpet bombing. And the idea is that, so the first time you survive a 2 wave, you unlock the radars and you unlock the invisibility, etc. And then if you survive more than 10 waves, you will unlock the radar level 2, then the camouflage level 2, etc. So what does it do? For the radar and the camouflage, it lasts longer. For the sentry turret, it adds a new sentry turret, so you can place 2s and 3s and 4. And for the guided missile and the carpet bombing, it increases the range and the damage that they do. So that's the first kind of unlock. That's really useful for first when you're in trouble and you start to see your teammate going down and so on, so you want to use them. Or every 10 wave we have kind of a boss wave with a vehicle involved, and starting from an armored jeep to a tank and attack helicopter, so you want to be prepared when those waves arrive. And then we have the weapons unlock. So between each wave there is a weapon drop on the map, and so there is a specific set of weapons for each map, and each 5 waves the set of weapons change, and they are more and more kitted out. So by default you will start with an HK 117 which is naked. By naked I mean just iron sight and that's all. And then as you progress you will have an ACR, then you will have the same ACR but with optics, with all the cool stuff that you could do that you can do in the gunsmith, that you won't do in the middle of the horde mode, because people are coming everywhere, so you won't take time to actually put that sniper rifle with that trigger. No, you won't do that. So we provide you with more and more powerful weapon as you progress into the waves.
So and that's something that I found interesting as well, because you have to pick your playstyle in the next round depending on how many things you have time to pick up, because either you go to the grenade drop or the claymores, or you go to switch weapons, so you have to make that decision between every round. Yeah,
exactly. You actually, the only thing that you can auto refill quickly is ammunition, because you have kind of refill box close to your base. But then if you want just to refill your grenades or have new kind of items to deploy, or if you don't get shot you need to go and pick another one, etc. And for that you need to go to the item box, which is of course set in the middle of the map, and you can redo it only in between each waves, and you have only 1 minute to do that, so you've got to make choice. That's the fun part of it.
So this kind of mode really creates those kind of moments that you go out and you talk to your friends about, and you talk to them, and then you get them involved. And you've been playing this mode a lot, I understand. So have there been any sort of any moments that stand out where something just crazy went on and something that surprised even you, even though you're working on the game?
Definitely, even now when we are playing it, we have that kind of special moment where when you finish the game, we go and take a coffee and we're like, hey, you remember that moment? Well, so today it's later in the waves, but definitely the moment where you are alone, your 3 teammates are down, and there is an attack helicopter on Guerilla, and you need to go quickly revive them because alone you don't have enough firepower to shoot it down. So you activate the camouflage, you go, you revive the guy, and that moment someone's flanking you, so you pop a smoke grenade, you activate your night thermal vision, you kill him, etc. So yeah, there is really a moment where you feel kind of heroic, where you have the feeling that yeah. No, you have outsmarted the guy and it was tough.